Once and for all, what does he want to do? One of his closest confidants has weighed in. You have to hear what he had to say, and you will, as we get up with you on this Monday from New York. Welcome to Get Up, presented by Wendy's. And once again, everyone is all abuzz because Doris Burke
Yes!
CB.
Yes!
Tons of football coming today. Adam Schefter sent a note that said this will be the most significant 2 weeks of the NFL offseason by far, and we will get to that. But speaking of a significant little stretch, how about the weekend that LeBron and the Lakers put together? Friday night against the Bucks, and then yesterday in a road game, if you will, against the Clippers. And you know what I loved about this game, Jay Will? LeBron and Kawhi going head-to-head so much.
This is what everybody wanted to see. The two best players potentially in the world guarding each other both offensively and defensively.
And Doris, they were both ready for the challenge.
Well, you got LeBron caught peeking, and you're so concerned now because Kawhi's so much better of a passer. Well, he dunked it on your head because you're concerned about what's next.
Clippers were up 4 at halftime. Oh, and there's Kawhi again driving around him. Kawhi would score 27 on the day, so he was ready. Let's go to the fourth quarter because this was a good game. LeBron did not attempt a field goal in the third, but then he heats up.
Well, he kept getting the matchup he wanted. He would involve any player in a Clipper uniform in a pick and roll, would get the matchup and then attack that matchup.
And how about this move, Doris?
Well, 6 of 8 times they get baskets off of his pick and roll action. He is still physically dominant. And again, you're anticipating a screen, and that opens the right-hand drive. And
Lakers up 10 after the made free throw there. Then LeBron takes a little rest, and this was a big shot by AD.
listen, when LeBron's off the floor, AD has got to be dominant. Yes, sir. Kiss that hand because you were rolling, my man.
And watch AD. How about him down low here, Jay?
Well, how about 5 players in a blue uniform are staring at LeBron James? There's actually poor weak side management of spacing, but AD gets a dunk.
He would score 30 on the day. Less than a minute left now. The Lakers are up 9. Say goodnight, Marcus Morris. He had a tough day.
Yeah, take a video of that. I would be taking a video of that, too.
LeBron James, 28 points, 7 boards, 9 assists, and capping off what was really a sensational weekend with fans, again, theoretically, in a road game, chanting his name as MVP, and his teammate Kyle Kuzma doing what all the rest of us did. Crown that man on the sideline. What a win for the Lakers.
It's a really good weekend for us. Playing against 2 of the best teams. The top 2 teams in the league, including with us, as far as record-wise. But no matter what was going on throughout the course of the game, we just held our composure. We continued to get stops. We continued to execute, and the rest is history.
Hey, we know the type of team that we are. If we don't do things that to beat ourselves, then we feel like we can beat anybody, and we're a tough team to beat.
So, Laura, we were here Friday, and the very last conversation we had, we asked Richard Jefferson, with the Lakers going into these big games, Friday night against the Bucks, Sunday against the Clippers, what will their record be? And he said they would do well to come out of it 1-1. With wins in both, Doris, what do we say of the Lakers this morning?
Well, they're the favorite to win the title. And I think the most impressive thing I saw was that in the final 5 minutes of the game, of both games, LeBron James was willing to guard both Giannis and Kawhi Leonard. He was willing to absorb the physical challenge of both of those things. And Jay Will, the final 13 points, LeBron James had a hand in against the Clippers. He was absolutely dominant. They didn't have a physical matchup for him.
I think this weekend was a demonstrative statement for LeBron and the Lakers. Obviously, with LeBron guarding Giannis, took on that challenge. And then I think this game meant a lot more to the Lakers than it did to the Clippers. It seemed like the Lakers have way more sense of urgency. They wanted to show that they can compete at a very high level when the Clippers already had 2 wins against the Lakers.
We keep talking about a home atmosphere for the Clippers, but really it favors the Lakers. As you project to maybe what you would see in the playoffs, how much does that factor in? Just a little preview of what we've already seen.
Well, a 7-game series in that building will be a Laker home 7-game series. There's no question about it. And listen, I thought a couple of things. Number one, the Lakers did not play at their peak in either of those 2 games. They were under 30% from 3-point territory. So let's make no mistake, there are things for them to build on, but there's another level or 2 for that team to get to.
And I also question the Lakers still, their bench scoring. They only had 6 bench points in the first half. Avery Bradley stepped up massively in this game with 24 points. Dion Waiters, I think, could help that. But you always felt like the Clippers were in the game, and you wonder how many times will Lou Will go 3 for 12, or also Marcus Morris, who averages 19 points per game, only had 1 point.
Lou Williams is an interesting person in this because if you watched what happened down the stretch of the game, LeBron James manipulated the chess pieces until he got the matchup with Lou Williams, and eventually you take him out of the game and you put Patrick Beverley in. The Clippers have more scoring. than the Lakers. As you said, notable to the bench and their starters. But when you can play one of those scorers off the floor, you close that gap.
So about 40 minutes ago, Jay and I were on SportsCenter, and he made the observation that they asked a lot of LeBron yesterday. He played that game like it was a finals game, and they're running all these bodies at him. Is it realistic that he can do that for 7 games over the course of a 7-game series, carry that much of the load?
I don't think there's any doubt that he can do it. And listen, a week ago Sunday, I said the narrative that this gap between LeBron and Giannis was insurmountable for the MVP race was inaccurate. There are 20 games left for the Lakers, 18 left for Giannis. I don't have to put pen to paper. I said it on SportsCenter this morning. At this point, I'd still go Giannis. He may set the single best PER in history. He's been dominant. He could win Defensive Player of the Year. But I don't have to make that choice yet. And the gap is much closer than we think. So let's stop closing the door on this MVP race. And Milwaukee people are going to be all fired up. You're out of your mind. No, I'm not. Charles Barkley, I'm not out of my mind. Not crazy.
You know, Doris, coming into the weekend, I thought that, Giannis had an actual lead, but after just watching the way that LeBron took on the challenge of guarding Giannis, I know it's a lot for just 2 games, but it's like everybody says that Giannis is taking the torch away. No, I feel like the torch is on layaway for Giannis. Like, he's still making payments towards the torch of being the greatest. LeBron James came out and made a statement about, I still am the greatest to play in the game.
Here's the thing that I went into that Milwaukee game thinking. What will the Lakers do defensively? They played their hand in that matchup. Giannis has spent the entire season bullying people, mean-mugging, dunking on your head, sending things into the 10th row. Guess what? Anthony Davis and LeBron James went right at him physically and said, you will pay a price to play us, and we're coming at you. Like, that was a message.
Is LeBron playing his best basketball that he's ever played in year 17 of his career?
Well, here's the thing that's amazing about it. You didn't see him take possessions off. So many times in NBA games, you see great players, all right, I can catch a breath here, I can catch a win there. It's even down the stretch when Doris mentioned that, he just continually attacked, constantly. And he was also challenged on the defensive end by guarding Kawhi. I mean, when you're guarding Kawhi and you're guarding Alexa PG, you can't take possessions off when you have to win that type of game.
I will just make the point that when LeBron was guarding Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi was 5 for 6. So Kawhi will have his say before this is all said and done.
Fair.
And I will say once again that I opened the show by pointing out you cannot spell LeBron James without the letters MVP, which I particularly liked because none of those letters are in his name at all. All right, Doris is here all morning long. Jay Will's here all morning long. We have a ton of basketball coming your way. But let's then get to what is going to be a huge 2 weeks ahead that could change the entire landscape of the National Football League. We start with Thursday. That's the deadline for teams to use their franchise tags if they want to. And, of course, we know the Cowboys could use theirs on Dak Prescott. The Bengals could do that with A.J. Green. A lot of that is circulating. Same time, Thursday night is the deadline for players to vote on the new CBA. Russell Wilson, J.J. Watt, and others have been among the players to speak out against the proposed agreement. A week from today, the negotiating period for free agency begins. Tom Brady is among the players who could begin negotiating with teams next Monday. And then next Wednesday, 4 o'clock Eastern time, the new league year and free agency officially begin. So you add Phillip Rivers, Amari Cooper, Jameis Winston among the players who could be on the move at that point. And here is our football conversations for this morning. Bobby is here. Bart Scott is back. And, of course, Dan Graziano, insider extraordinaire. We'll start with you because I feel like we've been leading up to this moment with Dak Prescott for a very long time. The deadline is Thursday. What's going to happen?
The Cowboys are going to have conversations this week with Dak Prescott's agent, with Amari Cooper's agent, by the way. They're hoping to get both of those deals done before they have to use the franchise tag on either one of those guys, which would, again, be Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Are they likely to get both deals done this week? Probably not. Prescott's is very complicated. Obviously, it's been going on a while. But the fact that they are talking to both players is a strong indication that they want to get them both signed. And even if they do have to use the franchise tag on Thursday, it would be for what it's supposed to be, which is to hold the guy in place and keep him off the market while they continue to talk about a contract extension.
I mean, that's really what it's all about. It's about getting Dak Prescott done, but you know that that's complicated. That's going to take a little while. So what you want to do is you want to buy a little time. I think the priority right now has to be Amari Cooper because you want to know how much money you have to put aside for Dak Prescott. You know, putting a franchise tag is a good thing, But if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm trying to get this deal done as well because really it's nowhere, I believe, for him to go. I think this is the best situation for him. And I think I lean on Mike McCarthy, who took the job specifically because Dak Prescott is his quarterback.
And it's one of the fascinating little peculiarities about this week that the CBA vote will be announced like 8 hours after the deadline for franchise